To introduce the ends to the means.
They got me screaming out. They got me screaming.
Welcome back to another episode of Chillin in the Wolfden.
Hi, I'm Jake, aka Perception 7.
I'm your other co-host, Ryan Darris, aka B1 Ninja, aka Omnipotent and Omnipresent. And today, we brought a special guest, our mother.
Hi guys, I'm Bree Christina, another show on the channel here where we do with my son, but I'm on this one today, so thanks for having me.
Yeah. Make sure you like, subscribe, leave a comment, share it around. We'd love to keep doing this. Yeah.
And then if you want to support us even more, check out the links below. We got a lot of cool stuff you could check out and stream and all that to help support the channel and all that good stuff. Quick little overview. We're going to talk about a family favorite franchise today, followed by our top 5 favorite fantasy characters, and then closing it out. But let's get into it. So the Harry Potter movies, definitely one of the favorites in the family here. We've seen them a million times. We all love them. Can't talk about it enough. So that's why I want to do an episode today here. So I guess we'll just kind of start from the beginning. Sorcerer's Stone. Definitely a great start to the franchise. Great movie for everyone to fall in love with. Mom, why don't you start with it? I know you always talk about how like the visualization of in your head to the movie and that one was really accurate.
Yeah, I mean, I was, I love, it's my all-time favorite franchise, I'm just saying. For me, it is my number one. It's the one I can constantly talk about. So I've read all the books. I was one of the people at the midnight release of the books, along with the midnight release of the movies.
Yep.
So what the books did for me was made me in love reading, which was something crazy. So when I read Sorcerer's Stone and then went and saw what they did for the movie, I was just super impressed. I really just thought, at least for me, for the first movie, everything that I had been reading in the book and picturing in my head, that's what it looked like. The Great Hall was one of the most amazing
Like when I see that cover and then see it on the screen, I was like, wow, that looks like exactly like
and
it's crazy.
I was so impressed with, I'm very understanding that in the movies, they have to take a lot out and they can't put every detail, every single little, thing that you get from the books, but I just thought they did a really good job in getting that imagery of what people were imagining in their heads onto film. The casting I thought was spectacular.
Definitely agree on that too.
And just the books, they definitely start out more lighter and then go more dark as the series goes on. And I thought the first movie just really captured that kind of magical, whimsical feeling you're supposed to have. To make you want to go further, to make you want to go to the school and
maybe feel like you're in a D&D just magical world.
I just thought it was awesome for that. So I really enjoyed the first movie. The storyline was very close to the book. It was the shortest book, so they didn't have as much to take out like they did once they got towards the end. But I thought they did a really good job. I'm understanding that they can't put everything, so I don't hold it against them for every little detail that they can't put in all the time. But I did think that the first movie did a very, very honorable and decent portrayal.
It's probably the most closest.
Yeah, of what book one was. So I gave movie credit to movie one. Is one of my favorite Harry Potter movies, just because I think they did it so well, and then they got so much in there that they that mattered and made you love the franchise off that one movie. Yeah, even if you hadn't read the books. So.
What about you, Jake? What do you think about?
I have not read all the books. I've read all the way up to Half-Blood Prince, which Half-Blood Prince is my favorite, but we'll talk about that one later. I thought it was a really good start to the Harry Potter franchise, at least, especially in the books and in the movie. It definitely covered a lot and definitely gave you that imagery like Mom was talking about. Overall, it was a great start. Like she said, great cast too. All the actors did great in that movie, and it really made you have that image, like, that is that is what it is. I can see
That's
that.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
That is it. there's no way.
What would you say your probably favorite moment from that particular movie was?
Probably Harry getting all the letters.
Yeah, that was a good
that scene was hella funny, especially with the parents. Like, why are we getting all these letters?
My ultimate scene from that movie is the chess game. When they realize
good
that
one,
they're
too.
in the chess game and they have to play a wizard's chess,
Yeah.
I just loved that. I thought that was just so awesome that we actually got to see them play the wizard chess game.
I'm trying to think
in
of
battle.
the scene that blew me away when I had first seen it. It's probably...
Diagon Alley, the first scene of Diagon Alley, like when he does the bricks with the wand and it opens up. I mean, that was super cool.
I think for me the scene that blew my mind the most when I first watched it was the Quidditch scenes. That whole scene when he's flying on the broomstick. I'm like, damn, they really have him going around and everything, and then he finally catches at the end and like throws it up. But
yeah,
I think that was the scene that got me really. But going into Chamber of Secrets, this is the one I felt that kind of was still very much of the first tone before it started getting a little more darker slowly.
Yeah, I definitely feel like Chamber of Secrets was still a little bit lighter vibe going on to it.
Yeah, I did like too how it that one started to kind of boost up the world a little more, and you kind of getting a little more about like what's going on and how you get a what's his name, Gilderoy Lockhart coming in, and like you're learning a little more about Voldemort and stuff. So like that kind of stuff that was building in that one.
I liked how Gilderoy Lockhart, it did bring that like a comedic aspect, you know what I mean, once you find out that he's, full of it the whole time. But I like that once he, towards the end of it, when he gets cursed with Ron's wand because it backfires.
Perfect
and
karma.
it's just like perfect karma, and it was still a light enough movie that like that was nice to have in there, and kind of lighten it down, even though technically Ginny was dying at that
dark,
moment.
yeah. But it was stuff like that kept it the light.
So I think that's what made it feel still like a lighter movie, even though during those moments where it was supposed to be a lot darkness going on, there was a lot more, evil, and Ginny was like, pretty much almost dead at that point. So, but yeah, I liked that was the easing you into what the series was going to be, which was going to be getting a lot darker and a lot more morbid with how things were going and stuff like that.
Also, like too, because like I was still pretty young when I had first seen these, so like I hadn't seen too many crazy writing things yet, and I hadn't understood all the tropes. But I did like how Voldemort kind of like started to trick Harry into thinking like Hagrid was the one who opened the Chamber of Secrets, and he's the bad guy and stuff like that. Especially because you're still new and you're like, oh shit, is Hagrid the bad guy?
You don't really know. You don't really know.
Yeah, and at that point I hadn't read the books yet, so I didn't know. I was like, oh shit, is Hagrid the
can't
bad
be
guy?
Hagrid.
No,
not
I like Hagrid. Fuck.
Here's hoping
cool.
it's
What
not
the
Hagrid,
fuck,
the
man?
whole time.
Right. What about you, Jake? What was your kind of feel of going into the second movie?
In the second movie, I don't remember when I watched it, but I was pretty hooked on it after watching the first movie. I definitely wanted to keep going on it. But it did really give you that puzzling vibe of,
who's the bad guy?
Yeah, who's the bad guy? Is it Tom Riddle or is it Hagrid? And it definitely did. It was definitely a lighter movie. They still did keep it light, and they had some dark parts, but it was still light enough to the point where it, it flowed well. It was easy.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I really did appreciate, for the time, how like the graphics and stuff were done for the snake.
I was literally just about to mention that.
like it was done really well. It didn't look cheap or too effecty to me. You know what I mean?
No,
like
rewatch it. Like it's definitely better than the big troll thing in Lord of the Rings, which usually that's what I compare it to, because that's around kind of that time.
That same time frame,
But,
So for the time
better.
that it came out, I did appreciate like how they did the graphics and like the way the snake came out, the basilisk came out at the end. Because that is something that can potentially be very cheesy looking if it's not done right, and just kind of, and then that ruins it. You know what I mean?
And
I thought that they did a really good job. I loved that they did like the shedded snake skin
that was
before
so
they
cool.
got there, because it
That was
gives you
cool.
it gave you more of that sense that this was a real creature, the animal. So I actually appreciated that for Chamber of Secrets. And Fox, I thought they did a pretty good job with bringing
really
Fox
Fox
the Phoenix in. I don't know if that was CGI or how they did that.
I think so. I just rewatched it too, and I was gonna say, notice that between the different takes of the snake shot, they did what Alien did, which is one of the best movies when it comes to effects. Is they had the CGI one, but for like close-up moments, they actually had a real
like a puppet,
thing, puppeteering or whatever,
mechanical or whatever.
And that,
one,
of course, looked even better when they did those shots. But I noticed,
Yeah.
and I really appreciate that it didn't just go full CGI, which do a lot today in movies, which doesn't always look as good. So I think that's what really helped add to it, is they had practical with CGI
with the
going.
CGI, yeah. And I thought it came out pretty good, like considering the time we were in and what the technology they were using in movies and stuff like that. I do think it looked really good. Like it looked real. It didn't look like too cheesy or anything.
It looks better than the worst CGI today, and it holds up with some of like the decent CGI today too.
Yeah.
So
at least it isn't like the Princess Bride CGI.
Yeah.
That was terrible.
And then, what about your guys' favorite moment for this movie?
Mine is at the very end again when they're flying away and Gilderoy. This is like magic.
Oh, yeah.
It's just like that
part made me
comedic,
laugh.
that comedic relief of it.
It was great,
I just
like
thought
they
it
won
was
the
great.
day and everything. Yeah.
And the fact that he's getting his car because he remembers nothing now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I loved that part. I cracked it. I literally laughed out loud in the movie theater when that happened.
Was this the movie where the book was writing itself?
Yeah.
Okay, well that is my favorite scene.
That's a good scene too.
Yeah, that tripped me the fuck out. I'm like, what?
I was first gonna say the scene. Oh wait, no, is that not till 3 when he rides the hippogriff? Or is that in 2 when he first rides it? He gets introduced in 3, huh? What is it, 3?
Oh no, it's 3.
Prisoner of Azkaban. Okay,
Yeah,
never
it's
mind.
3.
So I was gonna say that, but then I thought of a better scene, which was the forest scene when all the spiders come out.
Oh, I forgot about the car. I forgot about that
I
whole
really
part
like
of
this,
it.
especially with Ron, like, can we go now?
And when he screams, no, that whole little section of the movie where they get go to talk to the spiders and stuff was great.
Especially because I have a thing with giant bugs in movies, so that filled my giant bug fascination. When I see
nice.
all that, I was like, Alright, so now going into Prisoner of Azkaban, which is the one where I feel like they slowly started transitioning to that more darker tone.
Yeah.
Definitely. That one's the one where after they don't have to break Harry out, he just is able to go with them, right? The Dunleys start just letting him go.
2 is the ant.
Because I remember they break him out in 2 because he had the
No,
bars
3
on
is
window.
the one where he leaves.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, because Sirius Black and he's on the run.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. So he leaves the Dunleys. That's right. Okay.
That's where he gets mad. Blows up the ant.
Before we say anything else, R.I.P. to the original actor who played Dumbledore, because this is when it switched.
Oh,
yeah, I know. I
that's
actually
right.
was going to bring that up. This was right after I need to look at his name. I have to Google his name. Passed away. And so we have a new Dumbledore in the rest of the series.
Which good actor, but I didn't like him for Dumbledore.
And I got that a lot of feedback from people who were into the series.
Yeah.
It was a huge disappointment.
I think I have theories about this now after being older. When Bruce Lee died, everyone was like, Jackie Chan, you're up next, but he was like, one, he idolized Bruce Lee and respected him, so he's like, well, I'm not trying to be the next Bruce Lee, I feel like that's disrespectful to him. I want to be my own person, and so that's why Jackie Chan does a lot more goofier and happy kind of go-lucky
he has that
movies.
more comedic
And it was
to
out of respect for him, so I feel like maybe the actor might have purposely kind of had that more aggressive, uppity Dumbledore nature out of respect for him, just because I don't want to try and be him. I'm never going to be that good, so I'm just going to do something else.
I think that's okay in the aspect when you're talking about an individual like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
But he was playing the same character.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. The first Dumbledore, the character was what we read in the books.
Yeah, exactly.
And then when you go from the books to the movies after 3, that is
different Dumbledore.
Yeah, it's a
for
different
sure.
Dumbledore, and I think that's what a lot of fans had a problem with, was he was so aggressive, and you're meant to look at Dumbledore, like, by the end of it, you know, the books want you feeling like super close to him and super connected and stuff, and I think he took
kinda
away
gives you a
from that by
detachment
giving
from it.
that type of
Which
personality to him.
I think you see as much in the third one, but definitely once you get to Goblet of Fire, which we'll kind of get to. Yeah.
And yeah, he was just a lot louder, more boisterous, more aggressive, and Dumbledore was supposed to be this very soft-spoken, always like very calming.
The first Dumbledore is the very
and he played it. He played it.
Richard Harris.
Richard Harris. So
Yes,
rest in peace to Richard Harris. I was so sad when that happened.
Yeah, great Dumbledore. I
Very
do
good.
think it was different, but I do think it, the second actor his acting did kind of help for the scenes where it's a more happier scene, and Dumbledore's just like, you know, welcome back to Hogwarts. It kind of helped lighten the scene in those ways, but I definitely did enjoy the first actor.
Dumbledore.
I definitely prefer the first one, Dumbledore, more. He played that role really, really well. And
you almost instantly loved him.
Yeah,
you know
definitely
what I mean?
felt.
Almost instantly.
Yeah, you
loved
definitely
him
felt.
with
Which
the-
I think it would have made harder too once you found
he-
all the stuff towards the end.
Yeah. But that's the point.
Yeah, that's
that was the point in the books
Yeah.
was you instantly love him, and then you find out all this other stuff, and it's like, you know, it makes it harder to separate the loyalty at that point. Whereas when it's a character that you don't have that connection with, you don't care as much.
Which is
when
why
you
I
find out
didn't
about the bad
like
things,
the second
you know?
Dumbledore, because I felt like it took away from that impact a little.
That being said, though, I do think Prisoner of Azkaban was an excellent movie. To me, it's the start of the plot line that gets more darker, and you're getting more depth. The actor that played Sirius, I thought he did a great job as Sirius.
Yeah. And I like too, because like I definitely do agree with you. Like the first two really make you. It has that more magical feeling in the beginning.
Yeah.
But this one I like because you get more magic in it,
Right.
which is cool. And I also love and hate this movie because it I really shipped Harry and Hermione together, and I really thought this movie they were gonna kind of get together, and then I was like, nah.
Kinda takes it away.
It's kind of a love-hate thing with that too.
Like, damn it, they should have been it.
The map, the Marauders map came out in this movie, which was awesome.
Yeah.
You know, which he carries with him throughout.
You get the Patronus charm. You get werewolves and lycanthropy and shape-shifting.
Yeah.
You get the Bogarts.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get a lot of cool
We've
stuff.
seen
in
the
this one.
Dementors at this point already now. We've seen Dementors.
Does he already know the spell to get rid of Dementors?
Yeah, this is where he learns the
this is where he
Patronus from Professor Lupin.
Yeah.
Trying to think. Is there anything else I want to mention about this specifically?
Probably is my favorite.
Oh, that we get the Time Turner.
So
I mean, we get a lot of
I was
cool
gonna say
little
that, but-
things that stay with the series. You know.
So
what
I was
mean?
gonna say, we'll go to it now. My favorite scene is the time turner because one, you know me, I love sci-fi and time travel and stuff. So when I seen that and how everything worked, that was like kind of one of the first times I'd seen time travel, and I was like, that is awesome. That is so cool how they did that and brought it all back together.
Yeah, my ultimate favorite scene is Hermione punching Draco.
I love
that's
scene.
my ultimate favorite scene in the whole movie. I love that scene.
That's
the
a great
whole
scene.
in the movie theater at that time when it came out, the whole audience cheered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, great
it was
scene.
so fantastic.
Probably for me is when he is learning the Patronus charm.
That's a good one too. And he's practicing in the room with the chest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
is
a good one
probably
too.
my favorite.
Alright, so then Goblet of Fire. Now this one I really liked, but was disappointed with how much they did take out, especially with
This
the maze.
was the one that they took way too much out for me.
yeah.
This to me this should have been
Best
like
book,
the
Phyllis.
best. It was the best book, and it should have been the best movie.
Yeah.
You
It
know,
wasn't. It
there
took
was
out
so
a
much
lot.
potential for it to be this phenomenal, amazing, cool thing through the Triwizard Tournament
Yeah.
and all the shit that happened in there, and it just it fell short. Like, I really think the director just didn't grasp how big of
if you weren't
idea
gonna-
he needed to go with this movie.
So if they weren't willing to give it maybe another 30, 45 minutes to put some more stuff in, what scenes would you want to cut out of the movie to add for me definitely would have been like giant spiders in the maze. I
Yeah,
would've
the
wanted
giant
that.
spiders in the maze, all the
All the
majority of it
spells.
is the maze stuff. I thought they could have took out a lot of the dragon chase where he's getting the egg.
Yeah, cut that shorter.
Cut that shorter. We didn't need to see him. We've seen him flying like that already.
Yeah.
We've seen that with Quidditch and everything.
I think it's because they
I
had a
would've
dragon.
ra-
They're like,
I-
we gotta show it.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
get
I
that,
think cut
but
that
that
a
could
little
have been shorter
Yeah.
for him to get the egg. They could have did a lot of the Rita Skeeter stuff like a little bit
Quicker,
shorter,
yeah.
quicker. And then there was a lot of, that's like the
And I think
relationship
cut the
scandal stuff was
ballroom
happening.
scene where they're like dancing and stuff. Not the
That
talking
could have been
stuff,
cut
but
in
the
like
dancing,
half.
Yeah.
We didn't need to see that much. I
Extra.
would have much rather had the maze in there like
Yeah.
fully and taken
I
out
want
like
another 30
majority
minutes
of the
of the
ballroom
maze.
stuff. Show the quick little couples getting
Yeah.
together and dance, and then split to the end where maybe
Especially because
Hermione
we
and Ron
didn't get
fight,
like
but
any
then that was
special
it.
spells. We just got all the disarming spell each
Well,
time.
we did get a couple special spells. People just don't realize it because it's not Harry casting it. We saw the bubble charm.
Oh,
that,
I forgot.
The ones
well,
that
I meant for
Cedric.
the maze specifically.
Oh yeah, for the maze.
Because yeah, if I only remember correctly, it was all stupefy. Pretty much everyone casted in the maze and the light and
Well, except that there
and the one to untangle the.
Victor was bewitched, so he was casting spells that Harry had never seen before.
That's true. Okay, I did forget he was.
And so
yeah,
that
okay.
would have been nice to see.
Yeah.
And we got the vines, but those were even more intricate. We didn't see the spiders, and we didn't see any of like the bewitching spells that were happening.
Yeah. That's right.
So I would have liked to have seen more of that than like the ballroom dancing. You know what I
Same.
mean?
Okay, so then what would be your favorite scenes from this one? What about you, Jake?
I don't remember a lot from Goblet of Fire.
Let's see, there's the underwater mermaids, there's the part where he's in the bathroom and he learns about the mermaids, there's the maze scene, there's Voldemort killing Cedric Diggory.
Oh,
his battle, and-
that scene was
and
actually
his
kind of
parents.
funny for
I
me.
think my two favorite scenes are both comedic, and the first one is when Hagrid is showing Harry the dragons, and he's like, Hagrid, did you comb your hair? And
Oh,
yeah, because
yeah.
he's dressed up for like
That's a
his
good
date.
one.
I love that. And then when he's in the water and Moaning Myrtle is there like cozying up to him, and she, like
Yeah,
flirting with him,
that's a
and
good
he's
one.
like super uncomfortable. Just because I feel like those are the very like human moments for those characters in the in the movie, and so it's really cool to see that they still bring those moments into the movie.
And I forgot to mention, like, a lot of people, like, hit on Robert Pattinson, especially, like, we're gonna, like, not want to see the Batman movie because in it, but this is where I fell in love with him, and it was in Twilight.
Yeah, no, I
Like this
actually
movie.
I liked him since Goblet of Fire, and when he was in Twilight, I was like, oh, it's Cedric,
Yeah,
you
like-
know,
like his death did
It's
hurt me. I
Cedric
felt bad. I was
Diggory.
like,
he
oh,
came
he
back as a
actually-
vampire.
Like that scene with him and Harry, and he's like, hey, I'm sorry about the fucking push pins. I don't actually...
Well,
mean
and
it."
here's the thing: in the book, that happens a lot more. Cedric apologizes
they don't
like
give
a
you
few
nearly as
times
much.
to Henry,
Yeah.
to Harry for all the BS that's going on
Yeah.
with people talking crap about him.
But I
And
did
so-
get enough to where when his death came, I did feel bad. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Cedric, fuck.
And that's the thing, in the book, I think you even care a little bit more
More,
because you
for
do
sure.
see that he is
I did.
actually a good
Yeah.
guy. Cedric's a good guy. He's
Yep.
helpful. He's nice. He's not mean to Harry. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, like, even especially, too, when he's like, no, you won. Take the goblet. Go.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
even Harry's like, nah, dude, fuck it. Just go with
We'll
me.
go together, yeah.
But, yeah. Damn, I'm trying to think of my favorite scene. Is this one, too, where... Yeah, it's the fake Mad-Eye Moody, huh?
Yes. So that's the one thing that upsets me is in this movie you like Mad-Eye Moody.
Yeah.
You don't hate him even though he's not Mad-Eye Moody, and then you get to the movies where you finally meet the real one and you think you know him, but we actually don't know him at all.
Well, that's what I hate is when Harry greets him, he acts as if he knows him. It's like, dude, you never talked to that dude other than when you saw him come out of the fucking like captured place he was
Yeah,
put
yeah.
in.
So that was like, but I'm gonna say this: the idea of Mad Eye Moody and what we got from it, you do like him. He was a funny character. You like that he's like picking on Malfoy and
Yeah.
all that stuff. You know what I mean? So you end up liking him the next time you see him, even though
Yeah.
it's not really the same guy. Technically.
Oh no, maybe it was Prisoner Azkaban. No, wait. Is this the scene where Ron too has the girlfriend for a short bit?
Yeah, because it's when
he starts playing.
No,
Quidditch.
it's next one because remember he starts. Well, it
Order
gets
of
more
Phoenix?
serious. Is this way?
No, yeah, I think it is. Does
Is
he
he
have...
trying out for Quidditch in Goblet of Fire?
Oh no, because it's
Our food's dropped off.
when Hermione gets paralyzed, actually, from the snake.
That's Chamber of Secrets. Yeah.
So okay, so I was wrong one. Never mind.
Yeah, that's Chamber.
Is this the one though? I feel like I remember a scene where Hermione's crying in the stairwell.
That's after
It is Goblet of Fire because he wins the thingy, and they're all in there, and the girl kisses Ron while they're celebrating.
The girl kisses Ron and then win the match because Ron finally made it on the team.
Oh, but was that Goblet?
No, I think that is
okay.
Half-Blood Prince.
Oh, okay. Damn. Okay, it wasn't that then? I don't know what my favorite scene is from this one. I'm probably gonna have to go with then the battle with him and Voldemort. And Cedric's death, and as you see his parents pop up to help him.
I thought Cedric lived on in the next movie and then died.
No, he dies in Goblet
No, he died in
of
that
Fire.
one, yeah.
At the end of it.
And that's why he starts
I think
training
the
in
saddest
5.
part for me on that one, probably just because I'm a mom and I have sons, is when Harry comes back with Cedric's body. And
Ooh,
Cedric's
that's
dad's
definitely
there, and he's like,
saddest.
my boy. Like, that
Saddest
was
for sure.
that. I was crying during that. I was like, oh, that's so, it was sad.
Yeah,
it's like, dude,
no.
this poor kid. He's a good kid, and he died pointlessly.
Yeah, and Harry too. He's just like,
Yeah.
dude, my fucking friend's dead, and you guys are worrying about this bullshit.
Yeah.
Stop the fucking games.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So then, Order of the Phoenix.
This is
God.
like. This one was so good for me, and I'm sorry, I know Voldemort is the ultimate villain, but everyone knows that a Harry Potter show, we hate Umbridge more than we
She's
hate
such a
Voldemort.
bitch, dude, yeah.
Like, the scene where when Harry first starts writing with the pen, and like, right there, that moment in time, I'm like, wow, dude, she is super evil.
It's funny.
Like,
she is. I hate her character so much that it's
Yeah.
my least favorite movie because of it. Because
Oh,
I just
really?
hate- yeah,
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with the movie. I love this movie and everything, but because I just hate her so much, I get so angry. And I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, someone just slapped the shit out of her.
We have to all give
I have
props,
to give
though.
that actor.
Imelda Staunton.
Imelda Staunton, dude,
played
she
so great in that movie.
such a good job.
Such
You
a-
hate
Yeah.
her so much, and and that's how it should be. You are supposed to loathe
hate the
this
villains,
woman.
yeah.
She
Yeah.
did such a good
Fucking-
job. Now I watch her in so many other shows. Like, there was so many
Oh,
other
yeah.
shows that she is on for me. Yeah, she was in The Crown. Like a lot of
Okay.
other shows. I love her as an actress. She's phenomenal, but she really grabs that
Oh,
evil
she brought that
character
role, yeah.
really well. Like,
So
she
good.
plays it so well.
Fuck.
And her little her
Oh my
little
God,
giggle
yeah.
all the time.
Doing a fucking pin.
Fantastic. Kudos to her because she is amazing. And
excellent
regardless
job.
that you hate
her.
Umbridge, you have to give credit
She
to that
did her
actress.
job.
'Cause damn.
Yeah, fuck.
You do. I found that once we got introduced to Umbridge in the movies, you do hate Voldemort. But
Not nearly
when you
as much
think
as
of
her.
the worst enemy from Harry Potter,
It's
Umbridge is the
Umbridge.
one that comes to my
Fucking
mind every
Christ.
time.
Yeah.
First and foremost,
Jesus
before
Christ.
Voldemort. I know you're not supposed to, but it is. She
What-
was
what did
wonderful villain, fantastic villain.
What was the class that she taught? Because I know she taught a class in the movie.
Defense Against the
Just
Dark
dark-
Arts.
that's
Remember?
right,
And she was just
yeah.
like all book, like no
Yeah.
practice.
Yeah.
Like you could only read the book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, this one is. I really like this one too. It felt, I don't know, it felt very, even though it's dark, it had a lot of more Christmas vibes. In some ways, I think it's just
Yeah.
because you see more of the snow maybe or something.
That was during Christmas.
And then I remember he had the whole thing with Cho too.
I loved though when Umbridge is doing the interviews with the teachers and she gets to Snape.
Oh,
And she's
yeah.
like, and you've applied for the position, and you did. He's like, obviously.
Obviously.
Like that whole interaction with them two, I just thought was fantastic.
That was a great scene, yeah. I
And
love
rest
that
in
one.
peace to Alan Rickman too, who is
Oh, yeah.
my absolute favorite. Love him.
Yeah.
So sad when he passed away.
Trying to think, is there any other stuff you guys want to bring up from this movie?
I mean, I loved this movie. The disappointment that I had from it was when they get to the Ministry of Magic. In the book,
Yeah,
that
they
whole
don't show
fight
you a
battle
lot with
scene was phenomenal. There were so many spells going off that they had mentioned in the book that we thought we were going to get to see in the movie and we didn't. So I was a little disappointed with that. I could have taken a little less of the Umbridge stuff at the school and had a little more of that. I thought that would have been a little bit better. The whole part of Harry Potter's every movie, we're waiting to see the newer and upgraded magic, that they were using. And so when they took away from that and we knew it happened in the book, I think that's why it's so disappointing. So that was my one disappointment. There was a lot of cool spells that we didn't get to see that we read about that I would have liked them to give us that imagery for.
Yeah, for sure.
Other than that, though, I loved this movie. It was the first introduction of Umbridge, which, she still plays a part throughout the series, and I just thought it was really, really well done by her. And I almost feel like, even though it's like getting closer, it's like right in the middle of the series almost, that it kind of brought life back into the series after Goblet of Fire, because it gave you new motivation, which Goblet of Fire I think kind of defeated a lot of fans because we were so disappointed from how the book was to how the movie was, that I think we needed some more motivation. And I think bringing Umbridge in and at that point, and the character and how well she played her, I think it did give us that.
And is this one where Sirius died?
Yes, at the end,
okay, so I think...
Yeah, we lose Sirius in this one, which is super
so
sad.
I remember,
and he had just asked Harry to, go live with him after school was out.
Not that particular scene, but the scene where Dumbledore and Voldemort battle, that's my favorite scene from that movie, because I remember you got to see a lot of cool magic shit right there, and just how powerful both actually are.
Actually were, in the order Ministry of Magic.
At the end.
Yeah, you get to see a little bit more magic work and spell work. And I think that's why, with the books, that was the one thing I think they should have been really careful, is if you mention a new spell, you better expect the fans are going to want to see that happen on screen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So if it's going to be in there, they're going to know and they're going to want to see it, because that's kind of what we wait for every movie with one of these.
Yeah, what spell's coming now.
Yeah, what spells do we get to see?
Yeah.
So.
And man, dude, fucking Sirius's death, so sad. I felt so bad for Harry.
So the one thing, dude, Sirius's death for me, even when I read it in the book, I felt kind of cheated. If he was gonna go out, I was okay with him having to have the character killed, but it was just such a it was too quick. We didn't get I felt like it was it was, and then
I think that was the point though. Was fuck you want more.
Not expecting it.
Sucks.
Yeah, so that was a little disappointing to me, how he went. And then I do wish that I don't think we got enough of a. Seeing Harry, they do the little silent part of the scene where he's screaming, Sarah and stuff. But I almost think they should have did more in the movie. Maybe give us a little more with Harry being or something, because I felt like they just cut it short.
Yeah, I do really love that part, but I do agree. I think the scene could have been extended somehow
to get a little more emotion out of it. I felt like that should have been a lot more devastating for the audience, and I just felt like it was so short that because he died so quickly and you weren't expecting it to happen, so by the time you process that, they're already into it's already a next scene, and so you didn't really get to have that feeling of how Harry felt at that moment that he lost Sirius, which was in his eyes the only family he had,
pretty much.
First Cedric, now Sirius. I see it.
And this is the pattern we're on now.
Shit, okay.
The first two movies, nobody actually died.
Yeah, but now you're there's some stakes. It's not gonna be happy every time.
Yeah, but now he loses Cedric movie 4, he loses Sirius movie 5.
And Prisoner of Azkaban, they trick you, make you think that you lost
Buckbeak
for a little bit. But moving on to Half-Blood Prince, this one I had to rewatch before I liked it, and I think it's just because I really needed to let things simmer after a while. And then once I did, man, Snape became one of my favorite characters.
Snape,
that whole backstory is just so crazy.
Finding out Snape's backstory after you thinking that, I hate Snape, I don't like his character that much, but then when you realize everything that went on in his life about his wife and his kid, you're like, damn, I feel sad now.
Yeah, he's like Itachi.
Yeah, almost.
Well, yeah, you getting when him and Harry are practicing for him to block Voldemort out of his thoughts, and he gets into Snape's mind for a minute, and that whole that as short as it was, because it's not super long, but you get enough sense that immediately you like Snape.
Yeah.
For after all these years of
Yeah,
hating him, you're like, oh my god, dude, he's this nice guy that loved Harry's mother and was bullied.
Especially when you see that scene
his whole school.
when he's like, when Dumbledore's just like, yeah, we're gonna let the boy die. And he's like, what do you mean? He's like, he's a child. What do you mean we're just gonna let him die? And you're like, dude, he cared more than Dumbledore did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Honestly, my favorite scene from that movie is when we get all of Snape's backstory, and that was
Same.
definitely.
Well,
my
we don't
favorite
get that
scene.
in Half-Blood Prince. We don't get that till the very last movie.
Well,
no,
You
right,
get
yeah.
the glimpse of his memory of being at school with Lily and getting bullied.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
right, yeah.
So this
Oh,
is the part
shit.
where, this is the memory where
I
you
did
learn
get
Harry's
confused.
dad was kind of a dick. You know what I mean?
That's right.
Sirius and them were kind of a dick, and Snape was
I
Harry.
was thinking
Snape was Harry at school. He was the
Yeah.
one that was odd man out, or Neville. Snape was Neville. He was bullied. Everyone thought he was the weirdo.
Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Deathly Hallows.
Yeah, I
you're
was
thinking
too, I
of
just
Deathly
realized
Hallows.
that.
Shit.
So this is where we
Not
just get
Half-Blood Prince.
Snape's quick memories of being bullied and how he was treated by everyone at school.
But I do remember he gets Snape's book, and he ends up casting a spell on Draco, which
That was
I love
Snape's
that
spell,
scene.
yeah.
That's probably my favorite scene from the movie then, actually, because if it's not where Snape's death was, then...
Yeah, no, Snape doesn't die till the very
Yeah.
end.
So
So
then,
this
yeah,
is
it's probably
movie-
the fight with Draco he has and almost kills him right there. I was like,
And
oh.
regrets it immediately.
Yeah.
I think it was so important for the plot line itself and for Harry's character that they showed that Harry did not mean, he didn't know
Well,
what
it's
he
a
was
good lesson.
casting.
Don't
Yeah.
cast something you don't know.
Exactly, and the fact that we got that, and then him and Ginny go to the tower to get rid of it, I thought that was such an important factor, because if
Shit,
Harry had
actually,
not
that's my
felt
favorite
remorse, Harry had not felt remorse, he's Voldemort.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a super fine line that he had walked throughout the whole series, where always making that one pivotal right decision or feel guilty about that one right thing.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that they show Harry feeling the regret and bad about what he did, I think was super important for Harry's character and the storyline. And at that moment, you see Snape go heal Draco. You also at that moment, I think, realize because of the memories you've now seen about Snape and stuff, and immediately he helps the kids. You realize Snape is a fucking amazing guy.
Yeah.
He's always there helping those kids, no matter what. You know what I mean? And it just, to me, that those little bits of glimpses of memories and the shit that we got in the book from that made you fall in love with Snape, because you feel really bad for him, realizing what he went through the whole time.
The scene where Harry and Ginny go to hide the book might be a tie for my favorite scene, just because of the song that plays there.
Well,
one of
that's my
favorite
ringtone
soundtrack
on
songs,
my
yeah.
phone. So that is my ultimate favorite scene, where she throws the book away and tells him, "You can hide me in here too if you like." Super romantic, super sweet, and it's the first glimpse we really get to see of Ginny and Harry's relationship kind of growing.
And I like too that they wrote it. She wrote it. That Ginny was the one who always kind of pushed it.
Yeah.
Instead of Harry.
Yeah.
Which I thought was cute.
Shit.
Being that she had all brothers, that doesn't surprise me.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how I
makes
think
sense.
it would go. You know what I mean?
Harry's
In
the
real,
quiet,
if it was a real
only
relationship.
child.
Yeah.
He's always bullied, so. Alright, moving to Deathly Hallows. I'll just say we'll talk about 1 and 2 kind of together, since it was one book.
Okay.
This was the introduction of Dobby, right?
No, Dobby was in
Dobby
Chamber of
came
Secrets.
in Chamber of Secrets.
Yeah.
Dobby's throughout the whole series.
Yeah, remember he's at the very beginning trying to get Harry not to go to school, and he throws...
Oh,
This
yeah,
is
that's
where
right.
Dobby dies.
Yeah.
In movie 1,
Yeah.
Dobby dies at the end.
Yeah, skipped all the way to the death.
Yeah.
Yeah, so movie
It's
1
sad.
was even actually more disappointing for me than Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
I thought they had way too much travel crap
Yeah.
that we just didn't
not
need to
need.
see.
Yeah, they definitely didn't have enough showing of the locket,
Yeah, how it was affecting them. We
Affecting
got
them.
little bits of it, but not much.
I definitely thought we could use more battle scenes if instead of the travel, you know.
Yeah,
was-
yeah. I would have liked to
too
see
much.
more of the fighting between the I forgot what they were called. They use a word for them, the snatchers.
Yeah.
Because there was a lot more fighting scenes
That,
between
that
them.
definitely could have.
I would have liked to seen a little bit more what was going on at the ministry and stuff.
Yeah, that would have
You
been
know,
nice
that type
too.
of stuff would have been nice.
And even especially just the end when they're running around in Hogwarts and stuff, like just kind of extending those scenes. when
yeah,
they're
some
figuring
more of
out
that
shit.
fight scenes would have been nice. So I like some of the things. I like that you get to see Harry and Hermione's bond in this movie.
Yeah.
You know, their friendship and how loyal she is. Probably one of the most heart-wrenching scenes, but I think just it does not get enough
I know what
justice,
you're gonna say.
is
It's-
when Hermione has to obliviate her parents
Yep.
and leave her parents. And
That
I don't
scene
think
is
people
so
realize
sad.
that is like such a huge thing for her. She has nobody else. You know, she's a
Yep.
Muggle outside of this world.
And
so.
even then, I know it. She took a child away from them.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, she
devastating.
completely got rid of herself. She obliviated, and that was. I really would have liked. I don't know, a little bit more emphasis on it, or maybe like at some point the characters to
Mention it.
talk about it,
Yeah, I think
yeah,
that
or
would've been
something,
good.
or
definitely
I
agree
just
on
think
that
it
point.
don't really got it to justice. I'm glad that they show it and they
Yeah.
show her upset. I just think we should have got. That's a huge thing for that character. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's such a
most
huge
definitely,
thing,
yeah.
and for us to not
None
get
of
a
that,
little more with it.
like mention that a little would have shown just really how much she's going through
She-
during all the other shit she's dealing
Yeah.
with.
And the fact that, to me, like, I always loved Hermione. From movie one
Same.
to the end.
Definitely my
But in
favorites.
this one, with that scene, like, and looking at what she was willing to give up everything to help her
Mm-hmm.
friends, you know what I mean? And to do the right thing for the world.
Yeah, it's
and it
crazy.
it just made me love her character.
A totally selfless
So
character.
much, yeah. She is completely selfless, and just I just love her. Emma Watson, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you so
No,
much.
same.
You did such a great job, and Hermione is just one of my almost like all-time favorite
And I think
characters.
too, adding a scene like that would have helped. Which to me, another scene that should be talked about isn't mentioned as much is the scene where after Ron runs off and Harry tries to cheer her up and is just dancing together to
I
music.
love that scene.
Adding a scene like that, showing her depression more, and then something like that after Ron left, I think would have made it even more impactful.
Yeah, no, I do, and I think that would have been a good moment for like her and Harry to be talking about like her parents or,
Yeah.
or things like that. You don't get a lot of Hermione's parents in the movies, but you do get a little bit more of them in the books.
Yeah.
And they're cool, like they're cool, sweet folks, you know what I
Yep.
mean? And so there is a little more feeling in the books towards what she had to
Yeah,
go through and
for
what she
sure.
had to do, and just like how loyal she is and just good she is. You just really fall in love with her. I think that much more throughout this book and
What about you,
these
Jake?
sets of movies.
What would you want more of? Since you had it read to you for bed when you were little.
Yeah, yeah. Definitely less travel. Definitely less travel in the movie, and well, in the book there was definitely more emphasis on a lot of things that they needed to put more in the movies. Like they could have cut down so much travel, but no, they added travel, which was something we didn't need.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I need
what
that
would be the
much.
one thing you'd want to see more of?
Probably definitely more emphasis on Hermione and her family cutting down, and definitely more more of Ron after he left. Like, what if they cut to a part where Ron is?
Oh, see what he was.
I would have thought
Yeah.
we could have got cut parts to a lot of people. Like it would have been
Yeah.
nice to see what the Weasleys were
Yeah.
doing at a certain
Yeah.
point, or what was going on in the Ministry. They definitely could have snapped us of what was happening at Hogwarts.
Hogwarts,
It was
yeah.
like run by all evil people. It
For
would've,
sure got
like
some more
maybe
Hogwarts.
cut to McGonagall for a little bit, arguing with one of the eviler, teachers. Like
Yeah.
I would have liked to seen
See
some
more.
of the outside characters and what they were
Definitely.
dealing with at that moment instead of all the
Oh,
travel.
For
time.
me, the thing I wanted most was seeing more of what was going on at Hogwarts. while
Yeah,
was
that like
happening.
would have been a lot. I mean, we know from the books and stuff like there was twins running Defense Against the Dark Arts.
Yeah.
Snape was headmaster, but there was still good people there like McGonagall.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of the students were still going there like Neville and everything. So I would have liked to know what they were dealing with at those
Yeah.
moments too, while Harry and them were out trying to figure out these Horcruxes and all of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I think the one plot line that I missed that I would have really liked to see in the movies that we didn't get at all was Hermione standing up for the rights of house elves. It was
Yeah.
one of the bigger plot lines in the books. We
forgot
didn't
about
get it
that.
at all. She actually did try to like free. And what was funny is in the books, the elves kept getting pissed off at her, and I loved it because they were like trying to avoid finding clothes so they weren't free.
Yeah.
So it was just a great little thing that was going on for Hermione's character that we didn't get at all in the movies, and I would have
Yeah.
liked to seen a little bit more of that.
Also would have liked overall too. I think a little more Luna.
Oh, Luna.
I saw
One of my
Luna.
almost all-time favorite. Yeah, she is amazing.
And I really wish they would have emphasized Lupin and Tonk's death.
A little bit more. Yeah,
yeah.
Lupin and Tonk's death I think got a little bit shorted. I think we should have got a little more emphasis on what happened with Longbottom's parents and how that affected him.
Yeah.
That would have been nice.
There's so much.
There's a few little things that I feel like we just didn't get enough
of. Yeah.
emphasis on
Yeah.
it to make it more powerful. But I do think all in all, the series was great, you know,
Yeah.
and the books were phenomenal, and it's going to be
Definitely
something
agree.
that's around for generations and generations and generations to come.
They just needed it.
And yeah, I think the Fantastic
much
Beasts
less.
series is good, but I don't think
Just
it's
doesn't
any
hit
match
quite
for
the
Harry
same,
Potter.
Yeah, no, because technically Fantastic Beasts is before.
It's
Harry.
like
Yeah.
prequel
Prequels,
stuff, all
essentially.
stuff that happened way before.
Which the Fantastic Beasts is cool because you do see Dumbledore there and before Hogwarts or what
yeah,
was Hogwarts.
that's going to be
No.
the cool thing
Yeah.
is to see these older characters at their younger ages and what
age,
they
yeah.
were doing and stuff. You know,
And then, so for part one, I think my favorite scene was definitely the Ron and Hermione dance in the tent when she's all heartbroken.
even Harry and Hermione.
Or Harry and
yeah,
Hermione,
no,
yeah.
that's my favorite scene too. Most
Um,
definitely.
My favorite scene, not just because it's a death, was Dobby's death.
It was so sad.
It was sad. It
No, I
definitely,
do like a
definitely
good death
hit.
scene.
It
yeah.
definitely did hit a lot.
My
a
favorite
lot.
from movie 2 though is Snape's pensive memories. When you finally get
Fuck.
how
I
good
forgot,
Snape
yeah,
was.
this one.
Shit,
That
yeah, that is this one. Fuck.
That heart-wrenching moment
So-
of when you see.
Wait, are we combining 1 and 2, or are we
Well,
just
yeah,
all
'cause
doing
it-
1 and
we
Well,
were-
we were for everything else, but your favorite scene we'll do separate.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. Shit. I forgot that was this one.
So I got a few, but I'll pick one. But I really loved that scene where McGonagall fights Snape and just the way she like fights him off and just everything about that one, just her acting and just the way it goes down is really awesome. But also like the little trick that he does with his cape where he's like morphing
super
around.
dope.
Fuck. What is the actress name who plays McGonagall? Why do I
Maggie
not-
Smith.
Yeah.
Maggie Smith, thank you. Yeah, Maggie Smith played it.
I also
great
really
in all
like the
these
scene
movies.
where she makes the Hogwarts defense. She's like, I always wanted to cast that spell.
Oh,
yeah. Oh.
Maggie Smith is one of my all-time favorite actresses of all time. I freaking love her. She's so amazing, and she did McGonagall. No one could. I don't think anyone could do McGonagall better than Maggie Smith.
Yeah.
did
Yeah, no
McGonagall. I
way.
think she
Perfect.
made her
She-
perfectly.
That's
She
one thing. The
did it
casting
perfectly.
for the movies was almost always pretty goddamn spot on.
Yeah,
And
like
think
I
they did better
can't
for almost
picture
most.
another McGonagall. I can't picture another Hagrid. You know what I mean?
Hagrid,
like
Harry, Hermione,
yeah,
Ron,
Snape, phenomenal.
The first
Umbridge,
Dumbledore.
like they
Yeah, Umbridge.
just
fucking-
Serious.
like huge
Serious.
big kudos to like the actors of this series because they just like each and every one of them gives you so much depth and so much connection to these characters, and you don't look at them another way for a long time.
Yeah.
It's hard to see Daniel Radcliffe as anything but Harry Potter, and
Yeah,
it's hard to
sadly.
see Maggie Smith as anything,
Anyone but-
but
McGonagall.
yeah, McGonagall.
Yeah.
However, I watched her in Downton Abbey, and she's fucking phenomenal. So like,
I feel
just
like
love
any
her, love her,
movie
love
that
her.
she plays in, she's gonna
Yeah.
be phenomenal in.
yeah,
For
she's
sure.
just really
And
great
I do
actress.
love the Harry and Voldemort fight scene at the end, but I think my favorite scene is like you, Jake, the Snape pensive
Yeah.
memories.
Yeah, that
I forgot
moment,
that
and
happened,
as
was
many
that
times
movie.
as I've
Thought it was
seen it,
second.
I
Still
still
hurts.
cry every time I see that scene when Snape
Wait.
walks into the room and sees Lily dead.
This-
It's devastating.
This was also the movie where Harry sees the ghost, right? Or was that
with his parents, with all the ghosts around him.
Yeah,
yeah.
it was-
Sirius,
yeah.
Lupin.
And also,
Luna, yeah.
oh my god, I'm forgetting her name. Oh, Rowena Ravenclaw.
yeah,
Yeah, that's right.
yeah.
a
When he
couple
goes to talk
times.
to her, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so obviously, see, we love the series. What would you guys say your like top 2 favorite characters are?
Can I do 3?
Sure, we'll do top 3.
Do Hermione, McGonagall, and Luna.
Nice.
And Snape. Shit. I can't. It's just not enough. I love them all.
I think it's gonna be Snape, McGonagall, Hermione. I think that's how I put mine.
I think I have to put Snape before Luna. I love Luna, though. Luna was just
she's
such
a great
a
character.
fun, fantastic, the wisest character out of everybody, in my opinion, always,
Yeah, for
since
sure.
day one. Like, she is amazing.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but McGonagall, Snape, and Umbridge. Umbridge,
Yeah, no,
that character.
you can't
yeah.
deny, dude.
She was just
because
like
you
Ben
get
from Lost.
the exactly
Fucking
feeling
great.
you're supposed to get from her is what you got from her,
Yeah.
so you have to appreciate that. She was a
McGonagall, Snape,
fantastic
and
villain.
No, it's like I love
Fantastic
Ben
villain.
Linus from Lost, and he's bad guy for
Yes.
most of it. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, she played that role so great.
What about vote for a movie that was most book accurate?
I'm gonna go with one.
I'm going with
I'm
one
going
also.
with
Yeah,
one.
I'm gonna go
Sorcerer's
with the
Stone
first
was
one.
so
I think
accurate.
that was the most accurate. It was the smallest book, so they didn't have a lot to take out.
Yeah,
you
I
know?
feel like after was it Goblet of Fire? I think that's when they started slowly cutting it off, and we didn't get as much of the book.
What about favorite movie?
Deathly Hallows Part 1.
Mine goes between the very first one because of just how great I thought they did it, and the last one because you get the
end,
final
yeah.
story.
For me, it was always Prisoner of Azkaban, but lately I've been thinking it might be Half-Blood Prince.
Yeah, I do love Half-Blood Prince too. I do. That's hard for me. It's always a toss-up.
I think I'll still keep my Prisoner of Azkaban.
I
need
like
to watch
the-
Half-Blood Prince.
I
Oh,
think
shit.
I'm gonna go with the
Half-Blood
last
Prince.
one, movie 8, but technically it's
Seven.
7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about top favorite moment of all of Harry Potter?
I'm gonna say Snake's pensive when you finally learn
Damn,
that
I'm gonna
Snape's
say
a good
that too.
guy. Because the whole series, you don't
don't
know,
know.
you know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
I
when you
think with
finally
such a big
realize
reveal,
who the actual
big,
hero was that
big
whole
reveal.
time, it's such
Yeah.
a huge moment. And to know that, like,
And no one got to even know.
and just
Anti-hero.
that, and the fact that
Not
like
really.
you finally get that answer of damn dude,
Yeah.
Snape's been this good guy this whole freaking
Time.
time. I just love that, and yeah, Alan Rickman did such a good job. So
And I think I know the answer to this one, but most hated character is Umbridge.
Umbridge, most definitely
Umbridge.
Umbridge or Lucius.
Ooh, yeah.
He's such a
Such a piece of
cowardly,
shit.
and then by the end of it, he is so cowardly and simpish and just like, I just hate him.
So
But I
saying
hate
that-
Umbridge more, for sure.
Because I really do like Malfoy's mother, though.
You know what? I respect that chick throughout the whole series
Yeah.
because she never does anything other than what a mother would
Well,
do.
yeah,
like
that's
never
like-
does anything
You
other than what
don't
a
see
mother
her
would
too much
do.
in the beginning, so I get. But once you do get to see her, I immediately start like, oh, she just cares about
Narcissa,
Draco.
yeah,
That's
Narcissa.
it.
She just cares about her
fucking
son.
Filch. That was a person I fucking hated for some reason. Fucking hated him.
Understandable. He
Filch
was,
is
he's always the guy
mean
messing
old
with the
character,
kids.
yeah.
What about your guys' vote for best actor of the series?
Best actor?
Yeah. I'm probably
I'm gonna
go
with Maggie
McGonagall.
Smith.
Yeah.
Maggie Smith.
I'm-
She's just like, dude.
Damn, we got a lot of
she
same
is
answers.
like even just not for Harry Potter, but she's been in so many things, and she is just a phenomenal,
It's a
phenomenal
tie between
actor. And Imelda.
3. It's a tie between 3. It's between Maggie Smith, Daniel Radcliffe, and Imelda Staunton. They all played their roles so good.
Yeah.
But if I had to choose one, I probably will say Imelda Staunton.
My vote for second would probably be the girl who played Bellatrix Lestrange, because she nailed
Oh, she
Bellatrix
is amazing
playing
too.
Hermione,
Yeah.
playing
Amazing.
Bellatrix.
Oh
so
yeah,
well.
that I thought that was so awesome. She did such a good job
Yeah.
with
There's
that.
so many characters that played.
That's
their
what I'm saying,
roles
the
and
casting-
actors.
Mhm.
The
You
casting.
got to give
was
credit
great.
to the people who cast the fucking
I
show
forgot to bring
because
that
they
too.
really did
But
well.
one of my favorites, not my favorite, but
But
was when Miss Weasley fucking kills her.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
Great
Yeah,
moment.
love it. Great moment. And then, dude, you can't we? I don't think we've mentioned them at all, but the twins,
Yeah.
Fred and George, the comedic relief throughout the whole fucking
Yeah,
show. You know,
dude.
you gotta I mean, to the end,
They were
and they were
great.
just
Dude,
phenomenal.
George's death, so sad.
This is such an iconic series that like it is going to be around for so
Ever.
long, and because of the cast that it had and the writing that it had, like it was just such a great series, like really phenomenal.
What about saddest death?
For me, it's Sirius. That one was sad.
So
That
Dobby,
one
I
hit
cried
me.
a lot. And Fred,
Sirius,
but
though, fuck.
it wasn't Snape's death that I cried. It was the pensive moment that I cried.
Yeah. That's what I'm trying to
And
think
then,
of
like, when Dumbledore died, I didn't cry when Dumbledore died, but I cried when everyone put, like, their wands
Yeah.
out. Like, that's the hurtful moment.
I'm trying to think
me,
of
you
the
know what I
actual,
mean?
like, death moment. It's probably Sirius for me as well.
That one
Yeah,
hit
mine
me,
was, like,
fuck.
Dobby and Sirius. And then poor Hedwig, we
Ah,
didn't even
fuck.
get to grieve Hedwig when Hedwig died. It was, like, it
Yeah.
happened
It's
so quick in the beginning of
and they're
that
still
movie.
going, yeah.
And then it was, yeah.
I
You know what,
guess
actually,
Dumbledore's death was also pensive.
You know, it might have to be Dobby, actually.
Yeah,
I think I was more
Dobby's
sad for
death where
Dobby.
you actually, he had, you know,
Just
because
I
you
was in
get
the
that
theater
moment.
for that one, too.
You get that moment of, you know, between him and Harry, and he's actually
Yeah.
dying in that moment. So I think that was probably the hardest actual death. But then the one I cried the most is seeing Snape's
Let's see,
pensieve.
for sure.
Pensieve,
Was
yeah.
that, yeah. Alright then. Well, I think that's pretty much all for that. As you can see, like we said, great
You know a
movie, and we
lot.
love it a
I
lot.
could go on and talk about it for so long, yeah, because we
long,
forget about
fuck.
other people who in there.
But moving on to our top 5, we got our top 5 favorite fantasy characters. So I'll be starting off just so my mom kind of see how we do it. But starting with my honorable mentions, I got Hermione Granger, of course. Sirius Black, Professor McGonagall, Van Helsing, and Arwen from Lord of the Rings. But starting at my number 5, I got Anna Valerius from Van Helsing. Fucking badass with a sword, just trying to, like, you know, take care of her family and shit, and sadly dies at the end, but at least got the quest done. But, you know, fucking love that character in the writing of that movie. Plus there's Kate Beckinsale, so awesome there. Going into my number 4, we got Severus Snape. Once you find out about him, I was like, you just make you feel so bad. You're so sad. You're like, God damn it, Snape was like the hero. He was
the
such a
good
good
guy in the
guy.
end.
And like Alan Rickman just plays his character so well too. And then going into my number 3, I got Legolas from Lord of the Rings. Badass elf, one of the best archers ever.
Honestly, I did not expect
Fucking
him to
Orlando
be-
Bloom, you know, so
Yeah.
it's just fucking, he has so many, like, dope moments in that series, and you love his character. He's just the badass, super courageous, is just always ready for battle, super loyal. I loved, like, his relationship with Aragorn and how close he was.
Yeah.
And him and Gimli's relationship, too, how they're always battling and, like, counting, like,
Oh,
I got
love
more
that,
than
yeah.
you, I got
That
more
was
than
such
you.
a great little thing between
One of the
them.
best moments. Going in number 2, also Lord of the Rings, Aragorn.
Ooh, that's a good choice.
It used to be Legolas, but then as I got older, I liked Aragorn more just because of his leadership skills. And there's moments where, like, Legolas is like, dude, fuck this, blah, blah, we should do this. And Legolas is like, no, we gotta keep a cool head, we need to do it like this, you know. And it's just like, he really kept everything together, and without him, it made a big difference. Especially when he gets, like, you know, the army at the end, fights them all. And then going into my number 1, I got Robin Hood. One of my favorites forever. Fell in love with him from the Disney movie. And just like, you know, obviously I love Green Arrow, so when it came from that, and my love of bows and all that, and that's why I fell in love with the character. And just, you know, classic fantasy character. I love archery and all that, so throwing that in there too helped make it one of my favorites. But running back at number 5, Anna Valerius. And number 4, Severus Snape. And number 3, I got Legolas. And number 2, I got Aragorn. And at number 1, I got Robin Hood. Alright, Mom, what about your top 5?
Okay, so my honorable, this was like a super hard thing for me to try to whittle down. So what I did
Yeah.
instead was my honorable mentions are my random characters are like, and then my top 5 are specific, my top 5 Harry Potter characters are like.
Oh,
the best.
nice, okay.
So my honorable mentions, Legolas and Gimli from Lord of the Rings. That dynamic, I love them.
Yeah.
Willow and Mad Mordecai from Willow, like
Nice.
their little bickering
Great,
and all that
yeah,
in the
good
beginning.
picks.
I
Classic.
loved like them too. I was also a big fan of Gandalf.
Yeah.
For Lord of the Rings. So those are just some of my honorable mentions for some of the fantasy
Nice.
characters that I like. And then my top 5. 5th is Luna Lovegood. Like I said, I loved her from the minute we met her in the series. I thought she was super wise from the get, super
Yeah.
smart. Just loved her. I thought she was just brought that quirkiness, that you know, that unique weirdness that the show, you know, the series really needed.
Definitely.
So she comes in at number 5 for me. Number 4 for me is this one was kind of a hard one because people might think, but it is Harry Potter. I love Harry, and I know he's a star, but he's not my number one favorite character. He's great. I like that he does the right thing, you know what I mean? So he was actually my number 4. My number 3 is Severus Snape, because you know, the way Alan Rickman played him, even like when I hated Snape before you find out he's good, I like him for that reason too.
Like
he played that part really
part.
good. The time where like the kids are talking and he like puts their heads down, you know, like just all those little
Not
moments.
a bad guy, but just like a good asshole.
He plays a good asshole.
A good asshole.
So Snape is my number 3. My number 2 is McGonagall. Just because she's the mother of it, you know what I mean? That's the feeling you get from she cares. She's the good, like, just the inspirational teacher that you know's got your back. I feel like she's the, you know, she's just that backbone of it.
For sure.
And that's kind of the feeling I always got from her. And then my number 1 ultimate character is Hermione. I loved her from the get. I related and connected most with her being smart, you know. I love the transition her character ends up taking throughout the series, where she starts out being super straight edge goody, and by the end of it, she's like, you know, let's create this army, you know.
Man.
Like, I just love
she's
her
like
development and
the nerdy
everything.
other girl, and then she's the cute hot one, and everyone's like, oh god, Hermione's hot. Actually.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
shit.
So yeah, she's and because I love the Harry Potter series so much, and it is my number 1. I mean, she was one of my first like female, like that's who I would be. You know what I mean? If I was anybody, that's who I would be. So she's my number 1 on that one.
Nice.
So number 5 was Luna. Number 4 is Harry Potter. Number 3 is Severus Snape. Number 2 is McGonagall, and number 1 is Hermione.
Great. Good list.
So, I have an interesting list, and I only have one honorable mention because I changed my number 5 just right now. So my honorable mention is Van Helsing.
Nice.
And Nicolas Cage played great. Props to you.
That was Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Fuck. Yeah. That was Hugh Jackman. So on to my number 5. Just passed on that. From Game of Thrones has to be Arya Stark. She was
I didn't think about mentioning her.
fucking amazing.
Good one. I add that to mine.
Fucking amazing.
Love her.
The one scene where she was that one dude and poisoned an entire fucking group.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Damn.
Badass for sure.
And then when she slits, what's his name? Throat, Littlefinger's
She
throat.
was also
She's just amazing.
She was also the one who ended the
about
war
her.
with the fucking
Walkers.
White Walkers. She fucking had the dagger, dropped, caught, dead.
Yeah.
No, she was
amazing.
like one of my favorites from day one.
She was one of my favorites.
She was
Favorite
my
of
favorite
that
from
show,
day
for
one.
sure.
Yeah, for that show, she was my favorite the whole time.
And then
Her and Tyrion.
And then on to my number 4. Damn it, you spoiled it.
Sorry,
it was Tyrion.
Tyrion. Damn, I forgot about Game of Thrones.
He was just such a fucking pimp. When he was standing
he's
up to his nephew, when he was fucking abusing his next queen, he was
Sansa.
like, yeah, thank you. When he was like, oh, there's no point of doing this, and then when the guard was like, how dare you threaten the king, he was like, no, I did not threaten you. The next time he talks, slit his throat. See, that's a threat. The actor who played Tyrion just was great, and I love Tyrion in that show.
Arya and him are my two
favorites
characters from that whole show. Yeah, he made that show really.
But on to my number 3 has to be Sherlock Holmes, and the part that Robert Downey Jr. played. Now, I loved how Benedict Cumberbatch did it. He also played well, but I liked Robert Downey Jr.'s part. And one of my favorite scenes is when they're playing chess in their head. They're not even using a fucking board. They're just looking at each other saying moves like pimps. And Sherlock Holmes is such a great character, and Robert Downey Jr. played that. I probably will watch it tomorrow. But on to my number 2, if my phone would like to load, has to be from Princess Bride, Inigo Montoya.
Inigo Montoya, you
such
killed
a
my father,
fire,
prepare to
die. Had so many great moments in that movie, and
definitely love that one
honestly, I do like his name Oliver. Wesley? Shit, where did I get fucking Oliver from?
That's
Yeah,
Oliver
probably think of
Twist.
Arrow because he's blonde.
Yeah.
Oh, Oliver, yeah.
So, Wesley, I did like Wesley, but
No, Inigo's way cooler.
Inigo's
yeah.
way
Inigo's
cooler.
way cooler.
And his story that he wanted to fight for his dad because he was killed by the six-fingered man
Yeah.
had to be great. But
Dude, when he almost dies, or you think he's not
gonna
gonna
die,
make it,
and then
and
he
you feel like
fucking
no,
comes back.
dude,
No.
you feel so bad for him.
But on to my number one, and this will take this spot any day of the week, is Captain Jack Sparrow.
That's a
Good one.
Fucking
Good one.
love that character to death.
Yeah.
He's fucking
Doesn't really lie.
doesn't lie.
No one ever believes him.
Yeah, finding the peanut in his head, and when he fights himself, he's like, "That's my peanut." Or anytime he's like, "Ooh, rum."
That's
but
very
yeah,
Yeah,
overall,
that's such an awesome character.
overall, Captain Jack Sparrow is a great person. Just the way he runs, just
Everything about it.
fucking doing the
Go
thriller.
Johnny Depp. He
Go
made
Johnny
that
Depp.
character, dude.
Fucking
Kudos to
played that
him.
role so well. And to run it back, my number 5 is Arya Stark, number 4 is Tyrion Lannister, number 3 is Sherlock Holmes, number 2 is Inigo Montoya, and number 1 is Captain Jack
Good
Sparrow.
fucking
Nice.
list.
I like
yeah,
all these
that's
lists.
a
Yeah, it's
good
good
list.
Good list.
Good list.
All right. Well, that is it for today. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment below some other stuff you want us to talk about. Share it out with your friends, and check out the links if you want to go the extra mile to help us build up the channel and stuff. We'll see you guys next
Hit that
time.
button, guys.
Peace.
Peace out.